Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of The Legend Show. This is Selma again, and today's topic is about the servant figures. Servant statues are customarily interpreted as representations of the workers on a nobleman's estate. The models recreate a rich illustration of ancient Egyptian domestic life. They were placed in tombs with the belief that they would magically be recreated in the next world, where they would continue their work in the same capacity that they had in this world. Servant statues are in many ways three-dimensional versions of the two-dimensional relief scenes depicted on tomb walls. Parallels for all the activities performed by the statuettes can be found in the reliefs, illustrating that the statuettes were not meant to be a replacement for the relief scenes, but rather supplemental to the reliefs. Just like the two-dimensional representations, they were placed in the tombs of non-royal officials, but were not found in royal tombs. In a few instances, names and titles were inscribed on servant statues. They suggest a more complex interpretation of their function. Those which carry more than the personal name bear titles which name the statuette as son, daughter, or sole priest of the deceased. Therefore, some Egyptologists suggest that the inscriptions indicate that the statuettes represent the relatives or priests who were responsible for bringing the funerary offerings to the deceased. The inscribed pieces never bear the title or the actual profession of the person represented. A type of servant statue possibly appeared in pre-dynastic burials in the form of crudely made human figures of ivory or clay. These figures give way to limestone statues in the 4th dynasty. At this time, they are depicted in the form of servants engaged in their daily tasks. They mainly occur in the non-royal tombs in the cemeteries of Giza and Saqqara. At the end of the 6th dynasty, wooden statuettes become more common. Their provenance is no longer confined to the Memphis cemeteries. A further development near the end of the Old Kingdom was for separate statues to be mounted together on a single wooden base. These groups display different aspects of a single task. The Middle Kingdom marks the high point in the servant figure tradition. The number and variety of the models from this period are far greater than the combined total for the Old Kingdom and First Intermediate period. The material used was usually wood. In the Old Kingdom, these statues are primarily concerned with food preparation, but in the Middle Kingdom, agriculture, fishing, and other activities are added to the themes represented. Statuettes were commonly placed in the serdab of the tomb superstructure. However, throughout the First Intermediate period and Middle Kingdom, when serdabs were less popular, the servant figures were situated in or near the burial chamber. In one known instance, they were placed in the fill of the burial shaft along with the statues of the tomb owner. In their final development, the servant figures were placed in the burial chamber itself. One exception is the famous 11th dynasty tomb of Meket Ra at Dir al-Bahari, where the servant figures were found in a small serdab chamber. Within the burial chamber, they were placed either in or adjacent to the sarcophagus. Sometimes servant figures were placed in a niche in the wall of the burial chamber, or even in a hole in the floor of the chamber. And here we come to the end of the episode. I hope you all enjoyed, and we will meet again next week. Thank you and have a great day. Goodbye!